Do you like zombies? I like zombies. Love them. But not in that way, if you get my meaning. I enjoy, zombie filled, gut munching, gory films as much as the next person, but I don't bust out the box of tissues and hand lotion when I watch them. Unless we're talking about Return of the Living Dead 3, because that movie is incredibly sexy. But good old Chihiro, star of an anime series called Sankarea, really likes zombies and likes them in that way. In fact, young Chihiro would like nothing more than a zombie girlfriend. What does he think he's going to do with one? I don't know. In fact, the show doesn't make it clear what's going through this kid's head. I think it just says, hey, it would be a unique angle for a show? A girlfriend, a girl and a guy are in high school and they get together in shenanigans. No, that's been done. But she's a zombie. Ooh. Nintendo was nice enough to give us all a month free of Hulu, and I've been struggling to find stuff to watch because I don't watch TV. Not much interests me. I've watched a few things. I've watched a couple episodes of Dragnet because I'd never seen that show. I watched Sanjiro last night. Can't go wrong with Akira Kurosawa and Toshiro Mifune. Big fan of Yojimbo, so I really liked it. But that's not why I'm here today. Today I'm going to talk about Sankarea. Because it's a premise that it's like, okay, well, let's watch this to see what they're going to do with it. And I had a pretty good idea what they'd probably do with it, having seen a lot of anime. I figure it'll probably start with him already living in a house. The parents are dead or in America on business, leaving him alone, possibly with a younger sister. And he'll have a zombie girlfriend, and it'll flash back to some point briefly that explains why he's got a zombie girlfriend. And then he'll probably, as she bites other girls, he'll end up with a harem full of zombie girlfriends. It's kind of typical, right? Well, it's actually not where it goes, at least not in the 4 episodes I've seen so far. In fact, the titular Sankarea does not turn into a zombie until the very end of episode 3, which, well, that kind of surprised me. I'm like, okay, we're taking our time in establishing characters, such as they are. So, Chihiro has a fetish, we'll say, for zombies. He loves the zombie movies, but he fantasizes about having a zombie girlfriend. He doesn't fantasize about being eaten or torn apart. He just seems to think, oh, Chihiro-san is really sexy. That's what turns his crank. Hey, who am I to judge? Who are any of us to judge? Besides, it's a cartoon character. He's not real. Who cares? So, he lives with his family, who is actually not all dead. He lives with his younger sister and I think his grandfather. His mother is dead. I don't know where the father is. No, the father is there. The father's alive. He lives in a temple. So it's the father, the grandfather, the younger sister, and him. And a cat. But the cat is hit by a truck and dies. Aw, that's very sad. So he does the Herbert West thing and says, okay, I'm going to reanimate the kitty. And he's not thinking, I'm going to reanimate our house cat and that will be my zombie girlfriend. That's not where his mind is going. So he goes to an abandoned school or hotel up on the hill, and every night he digs up the cat and puts it in a cooler with ice, and drags the cat up there and tries to mix a potion that will reanimate the cat. Well, every night he goes up there, there's another girl who ends up in front of the hotel. There's a well in front of the school, and every night she comes and she yells all of her daily frustrations into the well. She goes, "Nobody's watching." Yeah! And yells things like, "Gosh darn it, Daddy, why do you insist on taking nude photos of me on my birthday?" Yeah. This is the title character, Sankarea. She's from the Sanka family, the very rich Sanka family, and her daddy has a thing for her. Now, interestingly, the show, it implies that he's molesting her, possibly even raping her. But the only thing it says for certain that he does is every year on her birthday, he takes a nude photo of her to document her growth. He's also incredibly controlling, doesn't let her, keeps her on a short leash, doesn't let her have friends or pets because he's a germaphobe. The only thing he'll take his gloves off for is to caress her cheek. I know, creepy, right? The mother is there, but she is understandably perturbed that her husband's affections are being redirected towards their daughter, which is driving her to the bottle and also making her very cold and distant towards Ray, which is actually an interesting character that I don't really see in anime much, if at all. Hopefully they'll delve into this character a little bit more later in the series, because I like the way she's drawn. I like the way she acts. I think it's an interesting character that has a lot of... I don't think interesting is where the show's going, though. So anyway, they meet each other, and he shows her zombie movies, and yeah, I'm trying to reanimate my dead cat, and she's like, "Hey, that's awesome. Hey, if I died, would you reanimate me and be responsible for me?" And he's like, "Okay." So, let's see. I saw these 4 episodes last night, so I probably should have recorded this when I was thinking of it. But, so her father, as I mentioned, is controlling, and if she has friends that gets too close, the father has the power to make that family move away. He'll get the family's father fired or move out of it to a different job that makes the family move, so his little girl doesn't have friends anymore. He catches her going out to the hotel every night, so he's like, "You don't get to go to school anymore, you don't get to have friends, you're going to be homeschooled here in the mansion." Little Ray happened to take a bit of the reanimation juice from the previous night, and it's got a poison flower in it, a hydrangea or something. And she says, "Well, this sucks, goodbye cruel world," and it doesn't kill her. But you can probably guess where this is going. So she's like, "Oh, I'm not dead." And so she's wandering around the house going, "Well, this kind of sucks that I'm not dead, and I have to be trapped with my over-affectionate father." So she overhears the father saying, "That Chihiro boy that she was hanging out with, find him and castrate him." Not kidding. I don't know what the Japanese word for castrate is, so I'm relying on the subtitles here. Hopefully they're not lying to me, and he said, "Send him a fruitcake." And the subtitle was like, "No, castrate, that's better." So she says, "Oh gosh, I gotta sneak out of the house and warn him." And so she falls off a cliff and dies. In a spectacularly gory fashion. And I mean that both ways. Spectacular as in just blood gushing all over the place, and spectacular as in awesome! She hits a jagged tree branch sticking out of a rock. It's done like, "Oh, I've lost my balance. I'm falling. I'm falling. Oh gosh, my life is passing before my eyes." And you're thinking it's going to just... And then you'll cut to another character who does one of those or something. No, it follows her all the way down, and suddenly she hits a rock and rips in half. And it's like, oh, dude, awesome, but man. But she drank some of the reanimator juice, so she gets back up and sews herself back together because zombies don't feel pain. So I'm thinking, okay, where are we going with this? Doesn't really go much further in the 4th episode. Dingleberry, what's his name? Chihiro comes home, and she's stricken with rigor mortis, which is an angle I didn't see coming. So I'm interested to see. So what are they going to do? Is it going to be like a Little Shop of Horrors thing where he has to feed her flesh of the living to keep her, to keep her loose? Probably not. I'm going to guess that she just needs to eat the leaves of the poisonous plant that was in the reanimation juice, because the kitty who was reanimated, if I didn't mention that, had these cataract eyes and ran off to the field of flowers where the flowers that were used in the reanimation potion, and started gnawing on the leaves, and now the cat is meowing and has non-cataract eyes. So I'm guessing she doesn't need to eat the flesh of the living, she just needs to eat leaves of that flower, which is kind of boring because it's not like they're hard to get. There's an entire damned field of them, unless someone lights them on fire at some point, and it's either the leaves or the flesh of the living. Not sure where it's going, so I'm going to check out episode 5 and see if I can get a beat on where this series is going. I'll be right back. The show now sucks and I have no interest in watching any more of it. Okay, so when we last left off, little Rhea was stricken with rigor mortis, which Chihiro, for some reason, thinks is just going to get better. So he stuffs her in the closet of his bedroom and says, I'll be back later. Hopefully the rigor mortis will have worn off by then. Okay. I didn't mention a character because I didn't really think she was that important, and I haven't seen the point of her yet. Chihiro has a cousin who seems to really want to bone him. She's constantly teasing him, flashing him, and dropping some not-so-subtle innuendo at his feet. Yeah, I said his cousin. I'm not judging. I'm just not seeing the point of this character, which is why I didn't bring her up. Well, oh man. So everyone's cleaning the house, and the hot-to-trot cousin comes on over and barges into his room to borrow a zombie DVD. Chihiro was right. Her rigor mortis got better. She can move now. So we're thinking, ooh, is she going to get eaten? Because the show is playing it like that. There's the killer's viewpoint angle from out of the closet, while her back is turned browsing the zombie DVDs. And she's like, someone's watching me. And she turns around and there's nothing there in the closet. And the camera pans out and she's either floating or hanging from the ceiling, which I didn't know was a zombie thing. So not only is she not stricken with rigor mortis anymore, she can fly. Or she's Spider-Man. Zombie Spider-Man actually did happen, so I guess that's not much of a stretch. So, Zombie Rhea tackles Ronco? Yeah. Tackles her to the ground and, smiles, and her stomach's growling, and teeth are starting to bare, and you're like, oh. And she goes, yeah! And Chihiro's, go down cleaning somewhere else, and he's like, oh no! Is she like a zombie gonna eat somebody? Nah, that can't be it. Well, actually, maybe it is. And then he goes up. And, so, Zombie Ray starts groping Ranko's breasts. Kneading them like dough. And then she rips her shirt off. And I'm thinking, okay, so they went the sexy lesbian route, but really what she's doing is kind of like, fluffing a pillow or, poking at your food with a fork before you eat it. I don't know. But anyway, she's preparing Ranko to, eat her heart out or something. So Chihiro is running up the stairs. I'm thinking maybe they're going to do a quick turn here and he's going to get there and, her chest cavity is going to be open and there's going to be intestines and gore and giblets all over the room. And that would be awesome. So he runs upstairs and he throws open the door and he looks and oh gosh, Zombie Ray is on top of Ranko and she's licking between her breasts. Yep, just dragging her tongue up and down her sternum. Over and over. And then Zombie Ray sees Chihiro and looks at him hungrily. And she bares her teeth. And with lightning speed of a corpse suffering from rigor mortis, she pounces on him and grabs him tight with super strength and bares her teeth and rears back and Frenches him. And that's where the episode ended. Episode 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, ended on a hook where I was actually compelled to keep watching. I was interested to see where are we going with this. Now I don't care. And I don't have anything against nudity, sexuality, lesbians, or, sexy comedy, or sex and horror. This is just stupid to me. I'm sure it has its fans, but this doesn't make any sense. None of the stuff in this... Now, there's been, what's colloquially referred to as fan service, shots up girls' skirts and, shower scenes and fan service. It was sprinkled throughout the series, but this is just dumb. So, show, you lost me. I'm going to try to find something else on Hulu to watch. I was thinking Eraserhead. I saw that was on there. I've never seen that. The only thing I know about it is that black and white poster with the guy with the tall hair. And David Lynch. Who I haven't enjoyed. So maybe I'll watch something else. Anyway, that's Sankarea. It's an interesting premise. I thought it was I was compelled to see where it was going for the first few episodes, but it went into stupid anime stupidness. Yes, Andrew, do you like anime? Well, I like good anime. Anime like anything else, that's kind of like asking, do you like music? I like music that doesn't suck. Anime, like anything else, suffers from very common tropes. And if you've seen as much anime as I have, you get sick of those tropes. Yeah, that's disappointing. I think there's a lot of potential in this premise, and they're squandering it for the easy anime out, or what they think all anime fans want to see. And I guess it's a 20 some odd episode series, so maybe it does turn around somewhere. Maybe that's just a dumb episode, but yeah, I'm gonna watch something else. Take care. If you're wondering why the sound changed during that last segment, ran out of batteries. It happens.